Hello friends, it is time for a little Q1 springtime refresh. So let's just go ahead and get right into this because we've got a long to-do list and not too much time to knock all of these things off. If you're new here, hello, my name is Molly. I am so happy you are here. Not to be dramatic, but Q1, the first few months of this year were some of the busiest months of, I think, my entire life. And so I'm really looking forward just to not only this refresh and kind of resetting and checking in on everything, but also really hoping to slow things down for the rest of the year. If you watched my goal video for 2025, a lot of what I talked about was just feeling very hurried, rushed, just not being able to take the time to really enjoy the things that I really love. The start of the year was very chaotic and hectic. And they were great months, no complaints at all, but I'm just really hoping to get into a rhythm that feels a little bit slower, a little bit more kind of romanticizing all of the little things, because life is all about enjoying the little moments, because all the little moments make up the big moments of our life. Not to be cheesy, but it's so true. And so just the reminder to slow down and celebrate those little things, whether you feel cheesy or not. I feel like that is just what makes life so much fun. And so I'm really looking forward to that this spring. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I've got a lot of really fun videos coming here soon. And if you're new to my channel, I do a lot of reading, running. We just moved into our first home, and so hopefully a lot of just cozy style hobby videos, because who wants to niche down? I niche down on Instagram, and I just love YouTube because I feel like I could talk about all of the things that I love, and no need to niche down on here. It's Thursday, it is 5:30 now, and my husband is shooting a wedding, so he won't be home for another 6 hours or so. So I figured it was the perfect time just to dive into my list. I've got a little list on my phone here with the things that I'm hoping to get done tonight, and we can do them all together. So first on my list are a few little techie things. My desktop is atrocious. It is a disaster. I don't know what has happened in the past 3 months, but there's so much saved to my desktop on my laptop that it is stressing me out. So I just need to go through, and I'm assuming I'll delete most of it. I don't know what it all is, but just really need to clear my desktop. This next one, if you know me, then you know that I am just not a texter. I feel like I'm on my phone so much during the workday. I do influencer management for a bunch of brands, and so there is just a lot that I'm doing on my phone, searching for influencers, following up, DMing, all of the things I'm doing on my phone throughout the day, in addition to obviously my own content and whatnot, which really I feel like has fallen to the back burner recently because I just haven't had time. But yeah, I just the last thing I want to do at the end of the workday is be on my phone, and so texts tend to pile up for an embarrassingly long time, to the point where I'm mortified to even respond because it has been so long. But I need to get to all of those texts that I have been ignoring, so I'm going to answer those tonight. And then next, on the financial side of things, I needed to update my profit and loss from Q1. So obviously, like I just said, I freelance, I work full time, and I do content. So it is all just a mess, and I need to go in and organize all of that. I think I've written my income, but I haven't gone in and added my expenses and done my totals from each month. I did pay taxes this morning, my quarterly taxes this morning, but need to backtrack and update my profit and loss. And then I want to pick up our house. I'm going to do a deep clean later this weekend. I don't know if I have the energy to do a full-on deep clean and reset tonight, but I do want to go and just pick up all the things, make sure it's a little bit cleaner when Dom comes home. It has been so nice to have more space finally, but we are still looking and hoping to buy a good amount of furniture and specifically storage stuff. We're trying not to rush any of it so we can find just pieces that we love, but because of that, I feel like everything doesn't have a home, and so a lot of stuff just gets left out or whatever. We're still figuring things out. So yeah, just want to go and pick things up. I want to share my favorite books from Q1. I'm not sure how many I read. I think I read somewhere between 15 and 20 books in the first 3 months of the year. So I just want to chat quickly about some of the ones that I really loved and recommend. Then we can do a little check-in on all of my goals from the year. I really can only remember one big goal that I set that I did not accomplish, which is totally fine. We will get into all of that. And I know some of the other ones because overall I just know the theme and how I want to feel this year. But in terms of specifics, I'm really not too sure of what I had categorized for Q1. So we need to go and check in on those. And then I want to get into the routine of just like checking in on everything monthly. And then last but not least, I want to make a little spring vision board. I don't always do that, but I think I want to start doing that for new seasons, especially because, again, not to like, what does it say? Beat a dead horse. But like the first 3 months were just so crazy. I have been so exhausted. I feel like I just really know what I am wanting for these next 3 months. And I really just want to have that spring vision board to kind of keep me on track. And also just like when you set that stuff as like your desktop and your screensaver and stuff like that, I feel like it is so top of mind compared to when you just like are like, okay, yeah, I want to slow down, whatever. But it's like, what does that actually look like for you in your life? So that is what I'm hoping to do for the vision board. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into my little techie things that we gotta get done. Okay, success. I got down from almost 20 texts, and those were not group texts. Those were all like individual to 2 texts. So I'm feeling good. The last 2 that I have are just like dates I need to go back and double check, like invites, and I don't want to forget to go and like RSVP once I know whether or not we can go or something. So I am feeling good. That feels like such a relief. I don't know why staying on top of text is just always something that is difficult for me. I feel like I definitely still have like friend groups in a bunch of different areas. Obviously, I went to school in Dallas, lived in Dallas for a long time. Like I'm texting my family, all of my friends here. I have a lot of different pockets of friends here. So it's just hard sometimes to stay on top of that. But it's 6:15 now. So I'm thinking let's go ahead and update my profit and loss from Q1. Like I mentioned, I paid quarterly taxes this morning. So that's really just the last like big business thing that I need to do. Let's update that, and then we can cook dinner. I think we like plan the meals for the week. I think it's like a peanut noodle or something or other. So hopefully it'll be easy because I don't want to spend that much effort on dinner, and hopefully it'll be quick too because I'm getting hungry. That dinner was not it. We're just gonna move past that. That was not it. But it is time to dive into my favorite books that I have read so far in the first 3 months of the year. And I will say I still have not found a 5-star read. I have read plenty of great books, but nothing that has really, one of them, like I feel like will really stick with me, and we will talk about that. I read it in a reading vlog. But yeah, none of them have just been like books that I never stopped thinking about. And I had several last year that I swear will never leave my brain and I have not stopped thinking about. And I feel like it's really hard when you find books like that because obviously every book that you read, you're going to be comparing to how much you loved those and whether or not it will like measure up. And obviously with a bunch of different genres, it's hard for them to like, you know, totally be the same. But I feel like I'm comparing every book that I read to the ones that I loved so much last year. And yeah, nothing is leaving me with the same kind of feeling. But I've read 17 books so far. And out of all of the books that I have read, I will say the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes is my favorite. And I've actually rented all of them on my Kindle through the library. So I did have to wait about 6 weeks in between finishing the third and getting the last one. But it is such a fun series. It's about a group of teenagers who all have these special kind of powers, like abilities to read other people really well. And essentially they can profile other people with all of the different skill sets and gifts that they have. And so the FBI has a special program for these teenagers to help them solve cold cases. And eventually they are solving more than just cold cases. So it is a 4-book series. Every single book in the series I ranked 4 or 4.5 because they were just so addictive. Like so fun and so fast paced. They're in the young adult like mystery genre, so they are very easy to read. I've read multiple of them within 24 hours. Some of them you could, even if you just had like a chunk of time, you could definitely sit down and knock out the entire book. But really loved that series. And then the two other books that I feel like that have stood out to me the most are Before I Let Go, which I just finished about a week ago, but I had seen so much about Kennedy Ryan's writing and her different books. I really loved this book. It felt so realistic. Like, I just felt for the characters. It's a second chance romance. However, the couple is divorced. And so I just really loved, I don't know, I think like how realistic that felt. I can't imagine what it's like to be divorced and, you know, my parents are still together, and I just can't imagine the emotions that come alongside of that, especially amidst all of the grief and hardships that they had and like what just kept bringing them back to each other. So I don't know, I found it really interesting to read about, really sad as well, but I ranked this one 4 stars, so I highly recommend. But it is pretty sad and pretty heavy too, because I think divorce is really sad and heavy. And then last but not least is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I'm so looking forward to continuing this series. I really struggled with what to rate this book because I was so enamored with his writing, and he just has such a way with words that I found so addictive and captivating. However, the plot of the story is just so upsetting, for lack of better words. It's something that's very realistic and happens a lot. The tragic event that the book is kind of like centered around, and how it kind of disrupts this tiny little town of Beartown. So I don't know, I just really struggled with what to rate it, which if you watched my vlog where I was trying to find my next 5-star read, I like really didn't know what to rate it because I loved the book, but I hated it at the same time. But yeah, definitely read trigger warnings, but I highly recommend this. And I got Anxious People, which is also by Frederick Bachman, at Half Price Books when I went a couple weekends ago with some friends, and I'm really excited to read more of his reading as well as finish this series. I was hoping to find the second one at Half Price Books, and they didn't have it, so I think I'll probably just look next time I'm at the bookstore or something like that. But yeah, overall, it's been good reading. I've read definitely a lot of books. I think I'm just very eager for that book that just like leaves me feeling the way that some of my favorite books from last year did, where I just like can't stop thinking about it. So if you have any recommendations, definitely leave them below. I will say the spring has so many new releases coming out. I'm like kind of overwhelmed because there are so many amazing books that are already coming out, and I just haven't had as much time to read recently. Like 17 books. I think at this point last year I had read well over 30, which it's not a race and I'm not comparing, but there's just a very big difference in like the time and capacity I had last year compared it to this year. So there's so many books that I want to read that are new releases. I'll actually read kind of the books that are at the top of my list just for this next month. I'm not going to go into like April goals or like TBR or anything like that. I think I'll start that back up come May. I keep track of all of my books in Notion. I don't use any type of like Goodreads or Fable or anything like that. So I just keep everything on Notion, but I have a list at the very top because my TBR has gotten so long and I feel like it's like hard to remember which ones I really want to read because the list is so long. So I've got TBR and new releases, but high up on my list I have marked in my Notion is I really want to read The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I heard so many people talking about that book and a lot of people rating it 5 stars. So I'm very eager to read that one. Really want to read The Lion Women of Tehran. I obviously loved The Stationery Shop. That is one of the books I keep referring to from last year. It was a 6-star read for me. Obsessed. Literally every time I go to the bookstore, both Barnes & Noble and Book People here in Austin, which is the largest independent bookstore in Texas, so it's very great if you're ever in Austin, they haven't had it. So I don't know what it is. I know I need to just like order it because I want to read it, but there's just something so fun and rewarding about getting a book at a bookstore that I haven't yet. I also really want to read Cara Bastone's new book. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Promise Me Sunshine. I loved her other one. I'm blanking on the name right now. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it had like the most beautiful cover and I really loved that one. So I'm excited to read Promise Me Sunshine. I want to find that one at the bookstore. I really want to read Wild Dark Shore. I'm not sure who it's by, but I've seen some people say that it could be a contender for one of like the best thrillers and mysteries of the year. So that's on my list. And I'm very intrigued by the book Water Moon, which is Japanese fiction. And we went to Japan last year, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with the culture. And so the idea of getting to like kind of go back into that world, because as much as I would like to go back to Japan, I don't know if that will happen again, and probably won't happen soon, maybe, but I feel like Watermoon could potentially be the closest I can get to just like immersing myself back into Japanese culture. And then in regards to new releases, oh my gosh, Promise Me Sunshine, it came out at the beginning of March. I really want to read What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. That one came out a couple weeks ago. Obviously, I want to read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I have seen mixed reviews on it, but I think I will love it because I love her writing. The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose, it just came out, and her first book, this is the third in her series, the first book, The Maid, is a 5-star read for me, so I'm very excited about that. I would like to read a book called Passion Project by London Sperry. It is a rom-com. And then obviously Emily Henry's book is coming out soon, Great Big Beautiful Life, as well as The Bright Years, which is Sarah, don't know how to say her last name, Damov's debut novel, and have seen a few people talking about that one as well. So I've got a very long list. My birthday is in May, and I told Dom I don't want to do anything. All I want to do is go to the bookstore, buy some of these books, and just like read and have a low-key day. So yeah, hopefully a bookstore trip is in my future. All right, let's chat Q1 and how the first quarter went. I don't usually talk in like Q1, Q2, Q3, but I mean, from a business perspective, that obviously is how everything is like categorized and whatnot, but I don't want y'all to think I'm like weird and I'm like, okay, Q1. But I do feel like it's really helpful to go back and reflect, and I honestly haven't done too much reflection so far this year. I've been doing a lot more journaling, but I feel like it's been more on the emotional side versus like, how am I actually doing on my goals? But like I mentioned, it was just such a hectic first few months of the year. So I want to check in and see what goals I had to be done by the end of the first quarter, see what we need to move around, to see if there's anything that I'm just not interested in doing anymore. And if you watched my video where I was chatting about the new year, you saw me set up my Notion, and I tried to like break all of my goals into quarterly goals. So that is what we're looking at here. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. I didn't have too many goals actually for Q1 because I knew it was going to be absolutely crazy. Most of January, I was focused on training for the 100-mile race that was right at the beginning of February. I knew after that race, we would have just a couple weeks at home. Then we would be going to Disney. And then I knew all of March would basically be consumed by this house. So luckily I wasn't too like overzealous when I was going through this, but I can go ahead and change some of these categories, but would like to do 3 low buy months. We did one in January, so we're on track. We wanted to save an extra $15K for a new car. We are actually making very good progress on this. Can't check it off yet, but we are on track to do this, which is great. I have just some blurred out stuff, which is just more specific financial stuff, and it did not do one of them. It was essentially just trying to move our money out of one place that we have it to somewhere else, and it did not get around to doing that. That has been something that has like been on my to-do list for like at least a year, and it's just like one of those things I keep putting off, and it's not like, you know, like high alert. It's not like anything's happening to the money, but would just like to move it to where everything else is. And then we had some house stuff, and then had complete a 100-mile race. That really was my big goal for Q1. And if you watched my video or have, you know, followed along with my content, then you probably know that I did not finish. I DNF'd. I dropped at mile 55 due to injuries that I am still nursing and getting back to 100%. So was totally okay at the time when I dropped. I'm still like totally okay. I don't have any regrets. I'm really proud of myself for trying. And at first I thought going into it, I was like, if I drop, I'm definitely going to go for this at another point this year. And after I dropped, I kind of knew, I was like, I do not think another one is in the cards for me this year. I really want to make sure I am tending to these injuries and getting them back to like 100%. I already had a couple races on my calendar for this year, so I've been working with my PT, so it is fine. I don't need anyone to come for me about that. I've been working very closely to make sure that I will be okay doing these races that I've done, and still have one more at the end of this month. But yeah, I do not want to do another one this year, and just really want to focus on other things, and honestly just like don't right now have the time to commit to the training. So I definitely want to go for it again. I want to go specifically for Rocky Raccoon again. I still have a lot of like questions in my mind about the training for it, how I'll train for it this time, what I'll do differently. all of that, but that's definitely on my calendar and I just have it marked for next year. But yeah, I can probably just move it to Q4 since that's when I will start training for it, but it is definitely still a goal of mine and definitely something that I want to do. And I know a lot of y'all have been wanting the running content to come back, so I promise there are some running vlogs coming later this month and at the beginning of May, and hopefully back come this summer, I can get back into a normal running routine again. And then as for Q2, I had learned to needlepoint. I technically have learned. I'm really just hoping to finish my first canvas, and I have another one already that I bought when I bought the first one that I'm just like so excited about. I feel like needlepoint kind of got pushed to the back burner at the start of this year just because, you know, life was lifing, as I have said. So I'm very excited just to lean more into hobbies, specifically like sewing and needlepoint again. So I probably, instead of learn to needlepoint, let's just put complete my needlepoint. And then I need to find a place for this, but I really want to take a self-defense class, and I know there are several in Austin. I just need to look into them and figure out which one looks the best. But yeah, as someone who runs a lot, I don't run when it's dark. I do think it's just helpful to, you know some of those practical skills that I definitely do not know. So I really want to take a self-defense class, and I don't know, May is like the most chill month. I just really need it. It's like the month we're really trying to like not have too much scheduled, because then in June, we have a lot more picking up, so maybe I should try and take a self-defense class in May. We'll see. TBD on that. I take a European vacation on here. We are doing that, but I'm not going to check it off until we've gone, but we're going to Europe in June, and I really need to get on booking and just like planning more of that stuff. I love doing that stuff, and what do you know, the theme here, I just haven't had time to finish all of that. And then we also really want to host an at-home coffee shop. I might need to move this to Q3 because the espresso machine that we want is sold out and isn't available until like the end of June. So we wouldn't be able to do this until like July anyways. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move that, but we are so excited about that. We also had on here, which this was slightly like, I knew it was gonna happen when I put it on here, but visit a new Disney park, which we will be going to Disneyland Paris, which is gonna be so cool. So I know we'll check that off. Really want to create an outdoor at-home gym. You guys, all that stuff is so expensive. We've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I think we just need to bite the bullet. It's very expensive, but it's something we'll use every single day. I really don't want a gym membership. I feel like I just like want to go that much. So definitely want to get to doing that. So yeah, those are kind of the things on my horizon in terms of like the goals that I had set at the beginning of the year. Like I mentioned, I really just want to slow down. I love springtime. April will be pretty crazy, but like I just mentioned, like May, I'm really hoping to be more chill. And I really feel myself yearning for more like creative, kind of low-key hobbies, i.e. the needlepoint, the sewing. I want to learn sourdough. Like I want to make like those little like air dry clay like things. Like there's just so much I want to do, and I feel like I've been so tired in the evenings because work has been crazy. We've been moving, we've been unpacking, we've been doing stuff with our house, like all of this stuff. I've just been so tired in the evenings and haven't really been using my evenings in the way that I want to. And so moving forward, I think for spring, I'm just really excited to like get off my phone in the evenings, go on walks with Dom. Like, of course, we'll still want to watch movies, watch TV, whatever, but like cook really good food and just really enjoy our space and enjoy the things that really like fill me up and bring me joy. I feel like, yeah, I've just been so like go, 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 go. And I'm starting to really feel it. I don't think I'm burnt out necessarily, but I just think like overall my energy has been a lot lower than it usually is, just because I'm so tired and have had so much on my plate. And I just feel like every chance, we get to just like chill in the evening, then we're like, oh wait, shoot, but we got to finish doing this. We got to like, finish setting up our security. We got to build this piece of furniture. We got to hang this, like we got to look for this piece of furniture, whatever. Like we just haven't really even like fully been able to not relax. That's dramatic, but like just like chill. Like we haven't had a day where we just haven't had anything. And so I am really hoping for more of that in the spring. And so with that, I'm going to get to creating my little mood board, which I think is going to be so fun. I'm obsessed. I'll put a copy of it here, but this just gives me all of the cozy, warm, fuzzy vibes. Obviously had to have a photo of trail running on there because I really am hopeful that I can get back to running on like the trails here. Trail running is my very favorite, especially early in the morning when the weather isn't like too hot, and then going into Barton Springs, which is like a natural swimming hole here in Austin. It is just the best vibes. So I'm very optimistic about spring, and if I haven't said it enough, I really want the spring just to be more calm, less rushed, less hurried, really just taking the time to savor the moments. I feel like with spring, there's just like, you know, like this rebirth, this like fresh energy that comes with spring, and it's just a little more calm and peaceful than any of the other seasons are. Like I feel like with summer there's so much like activity and excitement, but with spring I just feel like there's, I don't know, there's just like a sense of calmness that I really wanted to channel in my life, in my routines and rhythms. My routines and rhythms have just been all out of whack, and so I just want to get back into the rhythm that is just the best for the life that I want to be leading. And so I'm really excited to hopefully be done, Lord willing, with these injuries. I'm still in PT, and so I'm just hopeful that, you know, I can get that to a healthy spot, get back to the running routine, because that is so much of like my morning routine and what I love. But yeah, I feel like this spring is just going to be so much fun. I will get back to the monthly resets soon, but hopefully this kind of encourage you to reflect back on the first quarter of the year and think about what you really want for this new season. I know spring started about 3 weeks ago, but it's fine. It's never too late to reset or refocus or reflect or anything like that. So I am just so grateful that you are here and you watch this video. If you're also wondering about the cleaning, I am gonna do that. However, I need to start editing this video because it is 8:30 and I want to have this scheduled and done for tomorrow morning, Friday morning. And so I'm going to edit this and then I'm going to clean after. So I have not forgotten, but yeah, I just so appreciate you for watching and for being here. And if you made it this far, let me know how you are feeling about spring. Let me know what some of your goals are and how you're just feeling about 2025 so far. I would love to hear how the year has been for you. I know I'm not the only one who had like a crazy year, but would just love to hear how 2025 is treating you so far. And just thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.